Hey guys, don't forget to check out our new merch, link in the description down below. Hey guys, Shikari here. Man, it's been a while, feels like forever. Not gonna lie, I enjoyed the break. Making videos every week is tiring, but glad to be back. So I was hoping to have some new season news to talk about, or like the episodes would start rolling out already. It's around this time last year that they did, but we don't have either or. So I'm gonna make this video instead. It was something that I kind of had on the back burner, something to be released randomly kind of when I hit that point. I guess we're at that point. So we're gonna take a look at Luz and break her character down a little bit and the aspects that she'll probably have to lose as time goes on, as the series progresses. Now, we've only really gone through season 1. Obviously, Luz has a lot more to go, a lot of growth still to be had, and a full life still to live. As we know, Luz is a fun-loving girl with a heart of gold and not magical bile. Now, I think the character Luz is written perfectly well. In fact, she's actually really well done. But as time progresses, obviously as character developments happen, she'll have to lose some aspects of her in order to grow long term. Now, one of those things I think will be, and I think it's a pretty big one, is actually her imagination. Now, I don't mean it's just gonna fall out of her head one day randomly. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the series ended with her kind of writing her own novel of her adventures in her life currently. I kind of hope the series doesn't end that way, though I could see it. I'm hoping they go a different route with it and kind of try something else, but very possible that that's kind of how it's going to end. Now, what I mean is that the place that her creativity is coming from won't be the same. Luz has a very wild imagination. It takes her to far off places and puts her in crazy scenarios. Along with that, she has a very outlandish personality.
Oh, that's where the backup snakes were.
And what were you going to do with this?
That was for the Act 3 closer.
Most of which, if not all of that personality, comes from the lack of attention she's getting from her parent or pretty much anybody. All of her peers tend to kind of steer away from her. We can see the way she handles herself in class.
You think that's an impressive trick? Take a look at this. Bleep, bloop, bleep.
She even doubles down on her own weirdness because that's kind of the only attention she's able to get. She has a strong need to stand out in any way possible in hopes to be accepted, especially for the weirdest parts of herself, which probably wouldn't be too bad if she took a moment to kind of think about the other people around her and maybe build a better connection with them so they could kind of understand her weirdness. Everybody's weird.
Great. Just keep it up for 36 more hours.
But that sudden display of just kind of outlandishness, it pushes people away more often than not. This kind of prompts her mom to side with everyone else.
Mija, I love your creativity, but it's gotten out of hand. We all love that you express yourself, but if you can't learn to separate fantasy from reality, you may need to spend the summer here.
It's probably the worst decision a mother could make, to side with everyone else except for your own kid. But when you think about it from her perspective, she obviously wants her child to be accepted. Being ostracized, whether you're an adult or a child, it's just not good for anybody. We're social creatures. And, you know, I don't blame her because she's, a nurse? Which is already a taxing job. Luz's dad is not around as far as we know. We haven't heard anything about him, so it's safe to assume he's not involved in Luz's life currently. So that leaves you're a nurse, working crazy hours, and you have an only child crying for attention any way possible. What do you do? As I said, as far as we know, Luz's dad is out of the picture. He wasn't contacted when Luz was in the office, and he wasn't consulted on sending Luz to a conformity camp. There are rumors that he might be the emperor, but no real proof of that yet. So what does this have to do with Luz's imagination? And well, I think a lot. Most creativity comes from pain and that need to express that pain in some form or another, regardless of what the creative medium is. Typically, if they love your art, then they indirectly love the parts of you that nobody gets to see, the darker, sadder parts that pain comes from. Luz's isolation from her peers, the lack of understanding from her mother, the missing father figure in her life, all create a pretty good recipe for Fairly Odd Parents.
For all the years of searching, I've finally found proof of the existence of fairy godparents!
Or a crazy imagination. It's the one place she can run away to where whatever she wants goes. The problem with this is that it's very central. You're everything that's happening there. You're the universe it's happening in. You're the people it's happening to. You're even the universe outside that universe. So you're basically God. Everything revolves around you. The first thing Luz learns in the Boiling Isles, which I think was great, is that she's not destined for anything. She learns her arrival was pretty much just happenstance, which I think is better because now she can do whatever she wants. No destiny needed. This to me is the beginning of that imaginative perspective shift or change. So Luz ends up entering a world where she finds a mother figure, which arguably, yes, does ignore her at times, but not on the level that Luz's mom does, at least from Luz's perspective. She then finds a little brother slash pet that she can both cuddle with and converse with.
The cake is me!
She doesn't have a father replacement yet, but what she does have are friends that like her for just the way she is. And also, potentially, even a love interest that could care about her in a way that none of her friends ever could. As she comes to the Boiling Isles, she also finally has a purpose. One that's outside the conventional norm, which is something that she's tried to avoid in her regular life. Seeking something different. This new world isn't just everything Luz wanted and asked for, it's everything she actually needed. So what does this mean for her imagination? Well, less pain means less escapism, more acceptance means more presence, as in more present to the situation and the people around her instead of in her head. This will foster better social awareness and will result in better relationships, which has already begun to happen. Ultimately, Luz can't afford to stay in her imagination. That world only cares about herself. In the real world, she'll have to learn to adapt and start caring about others. Even though Luz is a kind, fun girl, if she kind of stays stuck in this disillusion that everything should revolve around her, eventually you could start to see her kind of separate herself from caring about others and kind of, as things don't go her way, wanting it more and more to go her way. At the start of the season, she's constantly comparing the world she's in, the Boiling Isles, to the worlds of her fantasies. As the season goes on, there's less of that. No need for it. One, because reality is always different than fiction, but also now she's just living her life. I myself used to daydream about being a YouTuber, making videos for people so they could see it. I don't really have to daydream about that anymore because I just have to live my life because it's already happening. I don't think this is a bad thing, obviously, and I think that this is a natural progression of this type of character, the development that this character should and has to go through. The Boiling Isles is everything Luz needs to help her grow up while having fun along the way. So what does this mean for Luz as the series progresses? We'll probably see her calm down a little bit as time passes. Maybe, maybe not. But we'll at least see her more focused. Her imagination probably won't play that big of a role as time passes. Now, this is far into the future. We can already see it kind of happening, but still, season 1 at the moment. Luz will still make countless mistakes. That'll be fun to watch as the series carries on. And honestly, I can't wait to watch it. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Typically don't make videos like this. Just something I thought would be fun to do. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, end card. Hey, you ready?
Yeah, so... Who are you? I'm you, but you're gonna screw this up, so let me do it instead. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, notifications, check out our Instagram and Twitter. I feel funny. Don't worry about it.